Literally nobody is talking about this one part of the Larry Vickers story, and I wasn't either. I missed it yesterday. And holy smokes, literally the only thing I have done today is gone down a rabbit hole. My Lord, it ties back to the Obama administration, and it ties back to a lot. This also potentially has to do with some of y'all and me as well. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And this is going to be an incomplete mess. I got to the point a few minutes ago in chasing this, and I had somebody point me in the right direction, and I'm going to do the same for you. Where I go, okay, this could be a 2-hour episode and we could chase this and I would be like Charlie trying to connect the dots. Or I can just point y'all in the right direction. I'm going to give you some resources. This is going to be incomplete. This is going to be partial, and it is a mess. It's not about the machine guns. It is not about the machine guns. Part of it is, but everybody has missed it, and I'm not being dramatic. Geez, this is deep. This is deep, deep, deep. So buckle up. Here we go. No sponsors today. I'm not bringing a sponsor in on this one. Holy smokes. Except for you people. Thank you for a thumbs up. If you think I've earned it, I appreciate a thumbs up. I'll be back tomorrow to do some fun stuff and some memes. But if you like what I work on here in our exchange, I would love a follow, a subscription. That would be awesome. Thank you for a thumbs up. Okay. Yesterday I talked about Larry Vickers and his indictment. He has pleaded guilty to all of these charges, and it's not good. 25 years potentially in federal prison. Only 5 years is about the machine guns. The other 20 years is about this. And I think we need to say this like really, really clearly. My understanding is there's a thing called the TDP, the Technical Data Package, and the State Department, excuse the language, does not F around about TDPs. They're a big deal. Some of y'all know about that. It's the technical data package for any firearm or any weapon system, and it's the blueprints for creating those. You can go find them. They're online. If you want to try to build your own AK from Russia, you can find those online in the deep, deep, dark recesses of the web. But for a company to actually own them legally and then produce weaponry, that's a big freaking deal, and the State Department does not play around. I want to pause and say Larry Vickers is an American hero, and everything against him is nonsense. I think I covered that enough yesterday, but I don't want to just sound like I'm throwing him under the bus at all. I'm saying a tyrannical government is the problem. Now, you got these TDPs. These are a problem. In the press release that came out, and I'm going to link to 4 things today, down there, I'm going to have the press release that came out so you can read the overview. I'm going to point you in the right direction on the actual court documents and the cases, and that is from 2018, but they just went were filed in 23. So it's a Twitter account. I'm also going to show you this NRA spy stuff, and I'll give you a link to that so you can chase it. And I'm going to give you the title to the AR15.com thread. I'm not going to link to AR15, but if you just type the title into Google, it'll pop right up. I will have these 4 things. All right. In the press release, Larry Vickers, it goes through all of this stuff about where he pleaded guilty. And we all, me included, all of us focused on the machine guns. There's a little line in here. Vickers also pleaded guilty to a conspiracy to violate U.S. sanctions against a foreign firearms manufacturer between 2014, remember that date, and 21 in the Southern District of Florida. And that location is important. All right, sanctions against a foreign firearms manufacturer. Now, we are going to have to make a little bit of a jump here. We do know that that foreign firearms manufacturer is called the Kalashnikov concern. And Obama, it was during a different Ukrainian conflict, Obama put sanctions on them, and we're talking big boy sanctions. Larry Vickers was working somehow with the Kalashnikov concern, and those violations hit in 2014. That's when the sanctions hit, and then he began violating those sanctions. This is from the actual court document. The case document, nevertheless, beginning no later than 2014, July, and continuing until at least March 2021, Vickers and others conspired, orchestrated, and carried out a plan to violate and evade the U.S. sanctions against Kalashnikov concern by A, acquiring firearms, firearms parts, blueprints, and technical plans from Kalashnikov concern. B, promotional videography and marketing. C, receiving services and engineering and technical design services. A key goal of this plan was to develop a U.S. business that would manufacture Kalashnikov-style firearms to be sold in the U.S. market and fill the gap left by the sanctions against the Kalashnikov concern. All right, my paraphrase. Kalashnikov concern, Obama put heavy sanctions on them. And there is a phrase where that Vickers said this. He said, the sanctions have effed my work for the past 9 months, so we are having to regroup and drive in a different direction. That different direction is a company called American Kalashnikov. Here's the jump I mentioned just a minute ago. A company called American Kalashnikov. We know that. We think, and we know that there's problems in Florida from the press release. We think pretty clearly that that company, American Kalashnikov, is Kalashnikov USA. The original one is Kalashnikov Concern, but we have an active company, a great company. I love their stuff, Kalashnikov USA. There has always been questions about where Kalashnikov USA down in Florida, where they got their blueprints from. They have repeatedly on camera said they have original technical data plans. That's a problem. Where did they get them? And they'll dance around on video. I went back and watched all sorts of stuff where guys like me, guys like me are interviewing them with a microphone at SHOT Show or at events. And they're like, well, we've acquired these, we're not going to talk about it. They dance around. Where do they get their TDPs? This is the problem. This is not just illegal. It is not just frowned upon. This is corporate espionage, literally going against the Obama administration back in 2014. In or about 2014, person one, we don't know who that is, began pitching a new business that he called American Kalashnikov. That's this one. In which person one would serve as the CEO, Vickers would serve as a director of firearms testing and evaluation and the company spokesperson, and a Russian engineer named person two would serve as a chief operations officer. That started in 2014. Obama's sanctions, July, August, this happened. And in between is Larry Vickers saying, I've got to push into new directions because of these sanctions. Now, there is a whole side issue going on here that I just good Lord, what else can be uncovered here? Remember that Russian lady spy? Remember her? Remember all of that crap? Somewhere right in the middle of that, nobody's talking. I found it today. I was just Googling and digging around here, and I found this, and I texted some guys, and they were all like, ugh, I never saw that. Who did? This is from a Florida Bulldog website, floridabulldog.org. Dan Christensen reports spotlight on Kalashnikov USA after spy arrests. Reports Russia targeted NRA for U.S. influence. And y'all can chase this, but it's super sketchy and interesting. And it's all about Kalashnikov USA being able to ramp things up here and getting the data that they need in America. Relationship merits further scrutiny is where they were at. And this is in 2018 in this whole spy thing. So it looks like at least to me that we're looking at corporate espionage. We know that in 22, I found this, that Kalashnikov USA says, quote, we have access to all original data packages. Now, what does that have to do with you and me? There was a new ATF, not the mandates, but they're new, where they lay out their new regulations or their new guidelines on kits that have been imported previously and are currently being imported or are on order from Europe. And this is the AK, the MP5, and one other, and they have the incorrect cuts on them. Now, this is retroactive, that these kits might have been imported and now they are illegal. Remember that Navy sailor and that whole bunch of bullcrap about him ties back to that? I know we're chasing rabbit holes here. There is no other way to look at this other than rabbit holes. What does that have to do with you and me? If you are an AK, an MP5 guy or gal, or that you've got kits on order, or that you have a kit sitting in your safe or a gun made out of a kit, it looks like to me, in my eyes, that the State Department and the ATF and the three-letter agencies are going after this crap. They are going after it very seriously. We knew they were serious about the machine guns thing with Matt Hoover and the force reset triggers and all of that crap. But this is a whole other angle that everyone is missing. We thought the Larry Vickers thing was tied back into the force reset triggers and the Matt Hoover thing, and that was the kind of directions. No, we're talking industrial espionage. I'm going to have links down below that you can chase. Those of y'all that want to chase this, the bottom line is we are underneath a tyrannical government, and somebody said it to me today sort of as a joke, but it's not wrong. Who is the target? Straight white men. And that's sort of a joke and but that's who ends up going under the bus. Where am I at? I don't know. There's a whole other thread out there about Tommy Built and his German stuff, and like that's a whole other side issue. There's a lot of tippy-tapping going on online right now. Where am I? It's like, get your popcorn and just see who they coming after next. Let me know down below where you're at. I realize that was a big, giant mess, but that's where I'm at for today, and I think that is enough for now. I'll be back tomorrow with some memes, and we'll do some happy stuff tomorrow. Bye.